You are listening to John Henry Drums. This piece right here is by one of our ancestors that I think is great. I actually know and believe that all of our ancestors are great. And those that have been through things that some of us, if we only imagine, we would have to go through, such as Mary Turner in 1918, the woman who was lynched, hung, set on fire, and had her baby cut from her belly. And that baby was kicked around like a soccer ball till it was dead by these same people that everybody's saying this one thing about loving everybody and loving everything, even those that have done some fucked up shit to us. Well, to me personally, that's some bullshit. And as you listen to Malcolm, he's going to tell you some things, Malcolm X, that we need to know and understand. People say we walk around here with attitudes and we're mad and upset about things that we can't do nothing about. That's a bunch of shit. We can do a lot about it. But the first thing we need to do is change our minds and our attitudes towards the people who keep us in this thing. You see, until we realize that looking at our oppressors, none of them, as you can see in every movie you watch about slavery or our enslavement, you don't see any of them motherfuckers, man, out there in them fields picking no damn cotton. You don't see any of them motherfuckers volunteering to get out there and pick no goddamn cotton. So to keep on having them smile in your face and say they're your friends, they love you, is another crock of shit. Because if any white person was your friend, knowing that they hold social statuses in very high positions and very high places, we would have received the promised reparations that the government promised us, as they said they would, but that hasn't happened. I don't hear none of them. I don't see none of them going out of their way, risking themselves, laying their lives on the line, trying to ensure that we get the reparations that were due to us. All right? So keep that bullshit, white people, to yourself, to this person. Any other black person, you can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, from whoever the fuck you want to believe from, and that's what the problem is. You motherfuckers got this Jesus shit, and y'all believe shit instead of knowing shit. If you read more of our history and get to understand who the hell your ass is, you'll know they're full of shit, and they get the fuck out of your face. Now, the white people on your level that are living in trailer parks, driving ragged-ass cars, doing things, they don't realize how fucked up they are by their own damn people. Their own damn people ain't going to help them. Their own damn people feel like they're worse trash than we are if they associate with us. But I say if you associate with them, more power to you. Because you know what? As I see it, each and every one of us as black people are only doing whatever the hell we need to do what? To survive. And if you hanging with trailer park trash white folks helps you survive, I understand. And if you hanging with bougie ass white people that ain't helping you do shit about getting no reparations, I understand. But one day you're going to wake the fuck up. And when you do, well, I'll put it this way. The way things are going with people like myself who are dropping knowledge and educating our people, these children are going to wake your ass up in a very ugly way one day. All right? Because they're going to be tired and don't understand. Why is it that mom and daddy teach me to go get an education? But then when I get my education, I find out that I'm less educated than I really should be, because the people teaching me the shit they're teaching me ain't teaching me the shit I need to know about myself. Ain't teaching me the shit I need to know so that I can power myself. I'm John Henry with John Henry Drums. And I don't give a fuck if you don't like what I say. But what I say comes from my heart. And what I say comes from my experience. Because I'm that motherfucker these bastards and beat down, like I told you, with handcuffs on, the white folks and the police. I'm that motherfucker that was tased with handcuffs on. By who? The motherfucking police. We got all kind of warriors out there, and I don't want to call no names, because the thing is, when I begin calling names of our warriors, I leave some out. And I don't want to leave any out. And I especially want to talk about those names and people that haven't been mentioned, that won't be mentioned. Those that have been buried in shallow graves in the backwoods of Alabama, in the backwoods of the South, or anywhere in America. I want to get those people remembered and have those people recognized. There have been situations here recently where there have been graves dug up on plantations or where prisoners or different black folks have been killed. Well, that kind of stuff bothers me because you see, here we are always, like you see all these, I want to say coons and buffoons on the white media. They're out there saying all this bullshit, doing all this shit, sticking their chest out. But none of them are realizing that we need to recognize all those unknowns, all those people who've been murdered and we've never heard about again, all those people who've been undocumented coming here to America. They were murdered and their names weren't called, but their souls and their spirits cry out. That's the people we should be trying to give fame to. Those are the people we should be trying to give claim to. Those who have suffered, those who've been murdered, those who've been lynched, those who have died, and nobody knows their name really. Let's dig those people up. Let's talk about them. Let's put them in the forefront and leave them damn bastards alone that's sticking their chest out, talking all this shit and act like they're doing something. They ain't doing shit because none of them motherfuckers ain't mentioned the people that have gone through things with their names unknown. These are the people. I want to deal with the unknowns. John Henry drums, that's what it's all about. Those drums, the drums, believe it or not, the rhythm, the spirit, the heartbeat of our people. Are we going to know one day who some of these people were? Are we going to search and find out? When we get ourselves together and we start searching, we start looking, we start digging up the things like them fuckers in them churches try to tell you to don't dig up the past. But guess what? The reason them white folks teach them Negroes that in them churches not to dig up the past and that Bible who wasn't written by us is because if we really dig up the things that were written on those walls of stone, they won't be here anymore. They will be annihilated. They will be a people well forgotten. Because think about it. If you have people that will take history, rewrite it, you have people that will take history and take out the most important parts. You have people that have murdered our people and left them nameless. Those people, their blood cries out from the soil. I know what I'm talking about because those people, when you get connected to who your ass really is, you can hear them cry. You can feel their spirits and you know they need to have your voice speak for them and stop all this coonery and buffoonery, getting in front of these white folks, telling them all your battle plans and all this. Fuck them. Build your school, build your place. Don't tell them shit. Just grow your shit, and then all of a sudden the shit take over and happen like they fucking do us. You think they tell us what the fuck they're doing to us? Hell to the fuck no, they're not. Have they ever and will they? There's shit that's going on with electricity, with electronics, and things that they're altering bodies, they're altering minds, they're doing things that motherfuckers don't know about. And we have so-called educated black people in positions that won't say shit, won't do shit. I like that brother who was talking about the atrazine, or this chemical that is being made that will alter DNA to a point where it'll have a male frog thinking it's a damn female frog. Do you know about that kind of stuff, or do you give a fuck about that? Are you just trying to bling and cling and shine and whine and dine and all this in front of the white folks to make them think, yeah, I'm not afraid of you or scared of you and I'm prosperous and this and that? No, the fuck you're not, because if all of us ain't got what the fuck we supposed to have, you ain't shit either. All right? I don't give a fuck who don't like what the fuck I say. I'm John Henry of John Henry Drums. And these drums are going to beat until my very motherfucking last heartbeat.
Also, I am very pleased to see so many who have come out to always see for yourself, where you can hear for yourself and then think for yourself. Then you'll be in a better position to make an intelligent judgment for yourself. But if you form the habit of listening to what others say about something or someone, or reading what someone else has written about someone, somebody can confuse you and misuse you. So as Afro-Americans or black people here in the Western Hemisphere, you and I have to learn to weigh things for ourselves. No matter what the man says, you better look into it. Example of why it's so important to look into things for yourself. I was on a plane between Algiers and Geneva, and it just happened that two other Americans were sitting in the two seats next to me. None of us knew each other, and the other two were white, one a male, the other a female. And after we had been flying along for about 40 minutes, the lady, she says, "Could I ask you a personal question?" I said, "Yes." She said, well, she had been looking at my briefcase, and she said, "Well, what does that X?" She says, "What kind of last name could you have that begins with X?" So I said, "That's it, X." And she said, "Well, what does the M stand for?" I said, "Malcolm." So she was quiet for about 10 minutes. And she turned to me and she says, "You're not Malcolm X." You see, we had been riding along in a nice conversation like three human beings, no hostility, no animosity, just human. And she couldn't take this. She said, "Well, you're not who I was looking for, And she ended up telling me that she was looking for horns and all that, and for someone who was out to kill all white people. As if all white people could be killed. This was her general attitude, and this attitude had been given her, this image had been given her by the press. So before I get involved in anything nowadays, I have to straighten out my own position, and which is clear. I am not a racist in any form whatsoever. I don't believe in any form of racism. I don't believe in any form of discrimination or segregation. I believe in Islam. I'm a Muslim.
You are listening to John Henry Drums.